All right, back to Trump's landslide victory. And you know what that means. The left-wing media melted down, leaving us with a heaping helping of some media madness. Joining us now, our political analyst, Whitley Yates. Also with us, comedian and host of Ungoverned on LFA TV, Sean Farash. Thank you both so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
It's good to be here.
Sean, the late night hosts, they kicked it off, all of it off following Trump's victory, where each one acted as though that somebody just like snuffed one of their puppies. Take a look at this.
Well, guys, last night, America decided to get back with their crazy ex.
How are you doing? If you watch the show regularly, I'm guessing you're not doing great. Yeah, me neither.
Let's be honest, it was a terrible night last night. It was a terrible night for women, for children, for the hundreds of thousands of hardworking immigrants who make this country go, for healthcare, for our climate, for our allies in Ukraine, for NATO, for the truth.
Sean, can you respond to Jimmy Kimmel's cries, his tears, as if you were President Trump?
Well, you look at this guy, right? You look at Jimmy Kimmel and low ratings guy, right? He's a low ratings guy. What a performance, right? The waterworks. The waterworks were going crazy. We love the tears, though. I filled up a beautiful cup, and I filled it up with his tears, and I took a big, beautiful sip out of it, and it was a delicious thing. I can tell you that. Nobody's going to be crying except tears of joy because we're going to make our country great again. Jimmy Kimmel doesn't understand it. We had a tremendous night. And we're going to have a tremendous 4 years, that much I can tell you.
Whitley, I hear you giggling, as am I. Sean, you're the best, I swear.
Thank you.
Whitley, over on CNN this morning, former senior advisor to Hillary Clinton, Philippe Rines, found his entire worldview turned upside down. Look at this.
I'm not concerned right now what the right thinks about the Democratic Party. I'm concerned about what I think about the Democratic Party. I don't like to echo the congressmen, all three of them. I don't like the fact that a small portion of our party is pretty much dictating where we are. We need to take stock of why we are being held hostage to the far left.
Whitley, look at that guy making sense. So what do you think?
You know, I think they should probably have listened to him a little bit earlier, or listen to Americans when we told you what the top issues were and you told us that we were all lying and that what was more important was our womb instead of our wallet. I think it's funny how everyone is having meltdowns because they couldn't see the writing on the wall. This is what happens when you utilize Hollywood to propagate a campaign and you forget the American people.
You know, Sean, on MSDNC, our friends at Morning Joe, they did not disappoint. As they decided to ratchet up the rhetoric, and now it's not just white misogynists to blame for Kamala Harris winning, it's an epidemic.
There's misogyny, but it's not just misogyny from white men. It's misogyny from Hispanic men.
Right.
It's misogyny from black men, things we've all been talking about, who do not want a woman leading them.
And then, of course, you got Mika there in all black, like it's a funeral. The ladies at The View in all black. Like, Sean, what was your reaction to the media meltdown?
Well, it's apparent that the media still hasn't learned what made this happen in the first place, right? When you insult people and you try and put them down for expressing themselves and making a choice that they have the right to make, it generally doesn't work out well. Let's ask Hillary Clinton how the deplorables comment worked in 2016. Let's ask Joe Biden how the garbage comment worked here in 2024. Look at all of the different examples of calling Trump supporters Nazis, comparing him to Hitler, throwing around the term racist, throwing around misogynist, throwing around fascist. People don't like being insulted for making a choice that we all have the right to make. And so you watch Morning Joe, you watch the View, all of these different channels, and you see them looking at voters, pointing the fingers and saying, you just don't know as much as we know. And because we disagree with you, you're a racist or you're a misogynist or you're some sort of awful human being. Well, calling 75 million, right? That's how many people have come out and voted for Trump. That number keeps rising. 75 million people in America, calling them a name like that or putting them down like that, it's certainly not going to win them over. And if you're in the business of media, and you're in the business of doing a show where eyeballs equal money, perhaps insulting your potential viewers isn't the best business model, but who am I? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good move. Whitley, your reaction to hearing the left-wing pundits and this and that saying racism and that's why, because she's a woman. What was your reaction to hearing about all that?
You know, I find it so ironic and the hypocrisy when you've called someone a racist for over 9 years and that person ends up winning the majority of the minority vote, almost doubling their support within African American communities and getting the largest Latino vote. To me is just so ironic because it really just shows how out of touch mainstream media is with what Americans care about. And so it doesn't necessarily matter the color of my skin. It matters what's happening with the change in my pockets. And Trump was able to cut through the noise, to cut through all of the character assassinations, and to honestly deliver for the American people.
Amen. Whitley Yates, Sean Farash, thank you both so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.